What's up, my crypto legends? In this episode, we are taking a look at the price of Bitcoin because we are facing this resistance right now for the last few weeks. Are we going to manage to break it finally in the coming days, or is this just a massive bull trap and we are going to start correcting aggressively in the next couple of weeks? Well, this is what we are going to analyze, okay? And we're also taking a look here on the lower time frames, the potential levels, okay, for those day trades, also for those potential swing trades that could happen also in the next coming days. Having a quick look at the stock market, S&P 500 finally getting that corrective move. I'm going to explain why we got this corrective move from this level and what could potentially happen also in the next coming days, because after this correction I am still sticking bullish. And we're taking a look at some Glassnode data, guys. Everything is suggesting that we are in an accumulation phase right now at this resistance where we at that $29,000 range. Very curious Glassnode data that we need to talk about in this episode, guys, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi there, Andy here. Welcome back to another episode of Bitcoinsensus. Without further ado, let's dive in here straight into the chart of Bitcoin on the daily. And it's just really keeping it simple here, zooming out, all right, on the price action of Bitcoin for the last few years. We can see we are at the most important resistance level that Bitcoin has, which is this massive neckline from 2021 and 2022. We have been at this level for the last few weeks. Everybody's getting bored. A lot of people bullish, a lot of people bearish, a lot of mixed sentiment, guys, and this is what we are going to try and clarify in this episode. Of course, we are at resistance, okay, and usually resistance do get rejection, right, where we are going to potentially get a massive crash, okay, not managing to get above this level. On the other side, we are potentially going to have another attempt in the next coming days because we are banging that wall of $29,000 range, okay, which is the lows, as you can see here, from 2021 and 2022, this massive big neckline. So as long as we are below this level, guys, we cannot think that continuation to the upside is going to happen. We're going to have to see a massive big breakout from this large consolidation that we did have in May and part of June of 2022. This is a huge cluster of volume, okay, of price action that we did have back in May and June, and we need to get clearly above that level with strong price action for that potential continuation. I know there's a lot of people calling for 40k, 48k, which is this high over here, but first we need to get above this massive consolidation that we do have here, all right, from May and June of 2022. Till that doesn't happen, then of course this is just huge massive resistance. We can try and attempt, all right, and break that level several times and fail miserably and have that big massive correction, okay? It's a possibility. But now taking a look at that, okay, resistance is resistance, so this means, you know, that we could fail to break above this level. And till we do not break it, this is still basically bearish, right? When we at resistance, you know, I am bearish. When we at support, I am bullish, right? As a trader, this is how we need to take a look at the market. But there is some data that is suggesting that this is potentially a level where we are having a massive accumulation, all right, with this consolidation that we've had for the last few weeks. And we're going to have a massive breakout. If we do take a look here at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, okay, we are starting to get greedy, okay? And of course, when we are at extreme greed, all right, it's a sign that everything, you know, is like in a bubble and it's potentially going to be time to sell very soon. Now, just that greed section here. Back in 2019, we were also facing one of the strongest necklines, okay, from 2018, which was around about that $6,000. This was explained in another video. Now, as we were facing that resistance of $6,000, we were at the greed zone, okay? And there was a massive bear market rally that took us all the way up to almost $14,000 in a matter of a few weeks. Of course, that took us to extreme greed. We went absolutely parabolic. No signs of parabolic right now with the price of Bitcoin, but we are in the greed section, okay? So are we going to mirror something like in 2019, or is this going to be like in the middle of the bear market, okay, that we had here back in 2019 and 2020 when we saw the March 2020 crash, okay, the C19. We also went into a greed phase, all right, because Bitcoin, you know, started pumping very aggressively to that $10,000, $11,000 range, and then we got that massive collapse. Of course, this was a black swan event, so we cannot predict if there is a black swan event right now happening in the next couple of weeks, right? So On the next stage here where we did have a crash, we went to a little bit of greed section here. This was back in 2022, all right, the pre-lunar collapse, all right. Of course, this was unpredictable. This was a kind of a black swan event for crypto because Luna was one of those strong L1 projects that a lot of people were bullish, a lot of people talking it on YouTube, on Twitter, you know, Luna is the new thing, all right, and it absolutely collapsed, okay. So this was also a kind of a black swan event. So we could not predict these black swan events. So if we do take out these black swan events, okay, the Luna collapse and the C19 crash in 2020, everything points out that we could have a very similar scenario from 2019. Going back to another Glassnode data here, we have also very similar sentiment, okay, from the bear market lows, okay, getting into that rally. And this is the HODL ratio, okay? People that are holding their Bitcoin, they're buying and holding their Bitcoin, all right, during the bear market, they're sticking strong, okay? And of course, the minimum HODL ratio, okay, is at the peaks usually, right? This is when people start unloading their bags and taking some profits, all right? And you can see here this data that we do have, all right, on the graph. The minimum HODL ratio is usually, you know, at the peaks of the market. You can see here with these vertical boxes, as you can see right here, also back in 2017 when we hit the highs, minimum HODL ratio, people, you know, was just unloading, and it's time to stack up, all right, time to accumulate, all right, during that bear market season. So back here in 2021, we see the same scenario. We get the peak, all right, of the bull run right over here at the $65,000 range. And then, you know, we have the minimum HODL ratio, right? People start unloading their HODL bags, all right? And now we can see during 2022, the HODL, the maximum HODL conviction has been going absolutely skyrocketed, okay, from 2022. And now it's kind of the, you know, the phase where we start unloading, right? As we go up, people start taking profits, and we are kind of at the middle of the range till we get to the minimum HODL conviction, which is all the way down here, right? Like the peaks of the other markets, all right? We still have a huge way to go, as you can see. So this is pointing out as well, okay, that everything, you know, is aligning up also with the people that are actually hodling and, all right, or not hodling, okay? So going on to another Glassnode data that we did mention the other day is the accumulation and distribution phases, all right? Now, of course, as I said, you know, Bitcoin is an open network. We can see all of those transactions of buying, okay, and selling, all right, on the blockchain and on the exchanges. And what we can see here, all right, back in 2019, we had that cycle neckline, all right, which was the lows, all right, here, as you can see, from 2018, we were just facing that level. And as you can see, we were in an accumulation phase. When we were hitting resistance, we were accumulating, right? And you might think to yourself, okay, usually at resistance, all right, it's a level where we could get powerfully rejected. So it's a time to sell. Well, in this case, we are seeing the same scenario like in 2019. As we are hitting this massive neckline from the bear market, okay, of 2021, 2022, that big neckline, we are actually accumulating at the resistance zone, meaning that it is a possibility that we can actually break through in the next coming weeks, okay? Just a little bit of curious data that we do have here from Glassnode, all right? Everything is suggesting, hey, there is a high chance that we actually can break this resistance in the next coming weeks. And remember, for those experienced traders, Bybit is that platform that I use for 100% of my crypto trading. For me, it is clearly the best one out there, and you get an insane bonus up to $30,000, guys, worth of bonus when you use the link down below in the description, guys. Check it out. Bybit, my #1 crypto trading platform. So going back here to Bitcoin, a lot of people are here for this, all right? Taking a look at the 1 hourly time frame, zooming in, all right, over here. We are in a big, huge, massive range with the highs here at the $29,000 levels and the lows at the 26.5. Now, of course, my next scenario here, looking for that potential swing trade scenario, is claiming the highs, okay? How are we going to manage to claim the highs in the next coming days potentially, or are we going to start rolling down from this phase? Well, this is something very interesting that I'm looking for here for the next coming days. Claiming the highs here at 28,800. We almost hit it today, and the 29,200. How are we going to manage to hit those levels? Are we going to get a big rejection and get back into the lows for that major big correction to come back to these lows over here? So this is something that we need to pay attention, all right, in the coming days. Of course, if we do take a look at the value area from this entire trading zone, okay, we go from right here from the 17th of March till today, we are basically just at the value area high, trying to hold it as support. We had a pretty nice volume breakout, as you can see here, all right, on the chart. So we've broken out from this level, managing to have that nice round formation. We are trying to hold the range, okay, but there is some signs of a little bit of exhaustion. What signs are that? Okay, we're going to go zoom in here on the 15-minute time frame, and we can see that the highs just today were tested. We formed a small little swing failure pattern here, as you can see from this high, wicking above this level, showing a little bit of exhaustion. Now, are we going to manage to hold the value area high here in an all daily level? We can see this move, okay? We also created that small little swing failure, okay? These signs are not extremely good, okay? You can see that price action, as you can see here. We've kind of formed it right over here as well, okay? The only difference, okay, from this, all right, we did have a major correction after forming this price action, the small little swing failure, as you can see. The only difference from this, okay, not breaking down below the $24,500 is this is a huge level of support because it was resistance, as you can see with the price action from the 3rd of April. So we can see that resistance here. We can see the attempt in hitting that level here also. And we have broken out with some decent amount of volume. So short term, yes, this is a little bit of a, bearish reaction, but we are bouncing here nicely from this level, and there is a possibility in coming back up and claiming the highs. Like I said, okay, there's huge resistance. I am very much paying attention on how we are going to claim these highs, all right, in between today and the next coming days, if we were going to go up there, all right, because if we do fail to move up here and break these highs, then of course it's going to be looking bearish. We could be forming a huge double top, large swing failure pattern from this high over here, which hasn't been hit yet, okay? So this is what I'm looking at. If I don't see a high that hasn't been hit, I am waiting for it, okay? So this is what I'm looking for here. If we do not break it successfully, then, we could potentially reject here aggressively, and that could be a massive shorting opportunity. We're just going to have to see how we hit those levels, if it's going to be large volume, is it going to be much lower volume, and then, take that decision, okay? We need to take decisions as traders and have very good risk management. Jump in here to the S&P 500, of course, the bearish case scenario, right? There is a possibility in breaking down this neckline, okay? And then, of course, I do see some short-term movements to the downside, all right? We do have the point of control from the range. We have today's daily open, all right, which is around about 28,160. So that zone should be holding pretty nicely as support. If we do lose this level, then I am convinced that we are likely going to come down all the way to these lows over here. So, of course, there will be a lot of shorting opportunities with this downtrend if we lose this huge major support at that 28,150 range, okay, that we have created. Daily open, point of control from the range, all right? So this is something I'll be spotting here with the community, okay, the private community that we do have. You have the link down below in the description if you want to join, guys. We still have that 35% discount for those people that are subscribing, okay? We are extending it a few more days. So make sure to join the private community, all right, where we are posting every single day. So, the different possibilities with Bitcoin and some trading scenarios. Now, let's take a look at the stock market, S&P 500. We were very, very bullish on the S&P 500. I'm going to explain why there is a possibility of continuation to the upside. But let me just go briefly to the daily chart. Right, very much easy, basic technical analysis where we were actually bouncing from this lower high 2022 resistance trend line. We broke out of it, found a massive bounce, and we were very much aware during the last couple of weeks, okay, that we were going to likely come and claim this high over here. Reason why? Because we were creating higher highs and higher lows, right? The short term, trend is to the upside. We like it or not, even though the macro is bearish, but we broke in some resistance zones. So you could look, for higher levels. So far, we absolutely been nailing this, being bullish on the S&P 500 for the last 2 weeks. And it's just been, absolutely ripping it. So zooming in here, why did we get this rejection at this level? Well, this was a daily level. We had an important daily close, as you can see. Very fast price action here, all right? And this was easy to go all the way up to. But now you see this massive consolidation with that daily level that was not tapped, okay, during all of this price action. So as soon as we tapped that daily close and open that we did have here in February, then of course, we tried to get above it and had a massive, correction. And something curious here to see. Now, I do think that this high will be claimed, all right? And I'll explain why in just 1 second, guys. Bear with me. If we go zoom in here on the lower time frames on the stock market, S&P 500, absolutely, incredible price action that we've had, okay, for the last few days to the upside. And if we do take a look at the VWAP, something very, very curious is as soon as we, claim that daily level, it looks like it looked pretty good, but there was no volume. The market did not open yet. As soon as the New York session, okay, market open happened, we had a massive big drop, okay, and then we had a pump all the way to the VWAP and also the daily level as resistance. I was very much aware of the possibility of creating a lower high. And you might think to yourself, how did you know this? How did you know this? Well, as soon as we were claiming these lows over here, okay, I was thinking, it's likely that we are going to create a lower high, and the best level of resistance, of course, was that daily level, was the VWAP, okay, getting a bit of volatility, and that was the signal that we were going to get that likely correction. Now, why am I bullish? Why do I think that we're going to claim these highs, all right, in the next coming days, potentially, if we do retrace even to the 4,090 points? Well, we're going to zoom out, okay, there's a classic pattern here, and that is an inverse head and shoulder, okay, that we did break that neckline, which is almost at that huge monthly level. The last few weeks highs, we had one right over here, one right over here. And if we do get a box from those levels, all right, as you can see, we got these lows over here. We extend the box to this high and to this high over here. We can see that we had that inverse head and shoulder price action, just hitting that neckline perfectly. And we get that breakout very, very nicely for the last few days. So we are just in a major correction, as we have been ripping it for the last 5 days after breaking this neckline. So a little bit of a cool off is absolutely natural. And the projected move from this inverse head and shoulder, okay, classic textbook, okay, pattern right over here. That projected move could even take us to the 4,300 points. Of course, we would have to see a massive breakout from this range. This is something that I'm paying attention to claim those highs. Is it going to be a failed breakout and then come back down? Or are we going to successfully break above this level, and then we could look for that continuation on the stock market? For the moment, I think, we could even retrace another 20, 30 points in the coming days, all right, just a nice cool off after this huge rally, all right, and I am expecting this range to hold nicely. If we lose this level that will be mentioned in the next coming days, then there is a possibility, of this failed move to the upside, and then, of course, I will be bearish to come all the way down to claim the lows here at 3,900 points, but we'll be taking a look at that on the live streams, okay, monitoring the price action. For the moment, we're above 4,090 points. This is still bullish. I do expect the highs here to be claimed. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.